Okay, so I finished I Will Find You on Netflix, and I have been sitting in my feelings ever since, because this is one of those shows where you think you know what kind of story you signed up for, and then it grabs you by the collar and goes, nope, we going somewhere else. And listen, before I say another word, this is your spoiler warning, baby, okay? Full spoilers, all 8 episodes. If you have not finished it yet, pause me right now, go watch it, and then come on back, because I'm going to be right here. Cool? Cool. Because I can't do a real deep dive holding my tongue. I got too much to say. What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Indescribable, aka Geraldine Lake, and I'm back with another series breakdown. And this time we're talking about the new Netflix drop that had me literally screaming at my TV. Let me start with David. Sam Worthington, y'all. This is a man playing a father who sat in prison for 5 years for supposedly beating his own little boy to death, a crime he did not commit. And here's the part that really wrecked me, y'all. At first, he's not really even fighting it. He's just marinating in his grief, punishing himself every single day for a thing he simply did not do. And what I actually respect about this performance is how quiet he plays it. This man barely talks. He gives you everything in his face. There is a real interview where Worthington said he told the producers to cut a bunch of his lines and just hand the exposition to everybody else, because he wanted David to be the feeling of the story, not the narrator of it. He literally called David the damsel in distress and said he wanted Rachel to be the real hero. And you feel that choice in every single scene. A big old action star deliberately playing soft and broken. Child, I ate it up, okay? Ate it right on up. And the irony that made me really flabbergasted was David was a law professor, a man who taught the law for a living, and the law is exactly the thing that buried him alive. That's not an accident. So hold that thought, because we coming right back to it. Which brings me to Rachel. Britt Lower, if you watch Severance, then you already know this woman can act down, honey. Rachel is David's former sister-in-law, a decorated Boston reporter who got fired and had to watch her entire life fall apart. And when she stumbles onto evidence that David's son might be alive, she doesn't see it as a tragedy first. She sees it as her golden ticket, her comeback, her way back into journalism. And I want to be honest about how messy that truly sounds, because Rachel is not purely noble, okay? She is grieving her career. She's desperate. And she grabs onto this because she needs it too. And that's exactly what makes her the engine of this whole show. David has the heart, but Rachel has the hustle. She's the one actually kicking down the doors while he over there being emotional. I mean, not for nothing, they was both fugitives, but you see my point. She's the real hero here, and half the internet is out here shipping her and David, which... please, y'all, he was married to her sister, okay? I understand why the show tapped the brakes on that. A little handhold in the finale, and they left it alone. Respectfully, thank you kindly. We never wanted that. Now, here is what I really wanted to bring to y'all, because once I clocked it, I couldn't unsee it. This whole show is just built on parents and their kids, and specifically on which parents have power and which ones don't. So let's go back to David, the law professor. He taught the system. The system still ate him alive. Now look at his daddy, Lenny. Lenny is plugged into the police world. He has connections. And then you got the prison warden, Philip McKenzie, wired into that same world of badges and favors. And it is these older men, the ones sitting closest to the law enforcement, who are quietly holding pieces of the truth about the night Matthew died. The fathers with the connections know things the son in the cell does not. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? The generation with the police affiliation controls the story. They protect it. They hide it. They pull the strings. Meanwhile, David, the actual father, the one with the most love in the entire show, has zero power. He's in a cage, and all he has is love, and love just doesn't open the cell door. And then on the other side, you got the FBI. Sarah Greer and Max Williams, the literal institution of law enforcement, hunting this man down like he's a villain. So David is squeezed from every direction by systems that other people's fathers get to work, and he gets nothing. But watch Sarah, though, because Sarah starts out 100% locked in on catching David. He is the target, end of story. And then slowly the cracks start showing, and she has to sit with a real ugly question. What if the man you're hunting is innocent? And how do you sleep at night once you even think that? That little arc is the whole thesis of the show in one character. Who does the system believe? Who does it protect? And the answer is always the people with the connections, the people with money, the people with power. Never the grieving daddy in the orange jumpsuit. Which brings us to Hayden. Milo Ventimiglia, Jack Pearson himself, America's favorite TV dad. And that is the casting genius and the casting trap all at the same time, because we are conditioned to trust this man's face. This is the man who made us sob over a crock pot. So when he shows up as Rachel's rich, charming ex who is still helping her out, still clearly in love with her, from this big philanthropic Boston family, we let our guard all the way down, honey. And then the show snatches it right off the table. Because Hayden is the one that took Matthew. This whole time, the child was never dead. Hayden kidnapped him and raised him as his own son because he was so obsessed, so desperate to have this boy that he let an innocent father rot in prison for a murder that never even happened. And once he gets exposed, this man goes full operatic. He kills the detective with a rock. Okay, and then he shoots his own mama. Sam Worthington even said in an interview that the show starts off naturalistic, and then Hayden just starts killing folks, and you realize you are in a completely different genre. And he's right. We go from grounded drama to grand opera in like 2 scenes flat. Talk about a plot twist. Now that mama, Gertrude Payne, let me tell you about this woman. Gertrude is the matriarch of the Payne family. And the Paynes are that old money, foundation running, hands look clean, but the money is filthy kind of family. It's giving you a certain real life pharmaceutical family with the opioid money. Congratulations, you were paying attention. And a family literally named Payne. They were not subtle, okay? And this is where the manipulation theme really lives. Gertrude is a controller. She manages her son. She manages the family image. She manages the truth itself. The Paynes use their money and their foundations as a shield, the exact same way David's dad uses police connections. Different currency, same game. Buy the outcome, hide the mess, protect the bloodline. But here is the sick twist inside the twist. Hayden didn't just get manipulated by his mother. He turned around and became the ultimate manipulator himself. Think about what he did to Matthew. He stole a whole child and built him a fake life, a new family, a big house, all that money, and a completely false story about who he is and where he came from. That is manipulation on a level the real father could never even compete with, because David only had the truth, and the truth was broke and locked up. So you got manipulation running in every direction. Mother controlling son controlling a stolen child, a rich family controlling the whole narrative, and a real father who has nothing to manipulate with because all he has is his honesty. Now here's the bigger question in my honest take. Right now is where the whole show is really asking what makes somebody a real father. Because Hayden had the money, the house, the stability, the daily presence. He was there. Okay, David had none of that. David just had love and truth and 5 years of grief. And the show is very clear about who the actual daddy really is. It's not the one with the resources. It's the one who never stopped fighting to get back to his child. Now, let me keep it 1,000 with you on this show itself. Is it perfect? No. Okay, it's 8 episodes. And if I'm honest, it's maybe 4 episodes of real plot stretched out with a whole lot of everybody chasing the same clue and then repeating the same information back to each other. Some of the critics dragged it for that, and I get it. There is a whole Switzerland detour I still got questions about, but the cast carried this thing across the finish line. Worthington's silence, Britt's hustle, and Milo weaponizing that trustworthy TV dad face against us. That is why I stayed, honey. I was locked into my boy. So tell me something. Did you clock Hayden before the reveal, or did that man's face have you fooled? Because I was shook, honey, okay? Were you rooting for David and Rachel to become a real relationship, or were you uncomfortable? Because I was. Drop it in the comments, because I'm reading every single one. And if this breakdown gave you something, just do me one favor. Like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one, because I'm breaking down everything these streaming platforms keep dropping, whether they ready or not, okay? So I love y'all. I mean that. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know every single time your girl uploads, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.